I don't know. We're on, so we're
Okay.
we're being casual.
All
Casual.
Okay.
Very casual.
Welcome. Let's see if how many people get on with us.
Nobody yet. We're good. Good morning. Anybody coming?
And it's okay if they don't. We'll just do it anyway, and it'll be here for people to watch.
Yeah, and we
they
can.
get up because it's a casual second Saturday. No rules.
And if they miss it, we're gonna pop it over to YouTube. Hello, Lois.
Yay, Lois.
Good morning. I saw the quilt you posted this morning. Good morning, Pat. I talked to Rachel. We're gonna meet some point. Good morning, Donna.
Right.
This is casual. This is like we're all sitting around. Good morning, Cher. Good morning, Lillian. I've started a trend. Here we go.
All right.
Do you have the notes? Oh, you do have.
Yeah,
Okay.
get 'em to me.
Good morning, Diana.
Right.
So we'll do this.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, mine, talk about lag. Mine is like, oh so,
Morning, Kathy.
okay. 24 on all of a sudden. Okay, we will get going. I think. We
Yeah.
talked about this yesterday. We were trying to figure out, if, most of you probably know that we have been doing quite a bit of live. Kirsten in particular has been doing quite a bit of live. And every now and then I pop in and we've done a couple of live sales on Fridays. And anyway, I've been doing a lot of work trying to figure out what we will have going forward since we didn't have quilt market this spring. It should be happening this coming weekend, or is it this weekend? Anyway, we're missing it. Salespeople aren't traveling, so this is taking a little bit of extra work, a little bit of extra research. So I've been working on that, and it seems like there's a lot of things that we've been showing, and we're trying to get the store kind of, at least our concept is that we get the store perked up, which we have a long way to go, because you know how that is when you don't have anybody coming over to your house, and you kind of let things go. Well, we kind of let things go around here a little bit. We have work tables set up all over the place. We have folding tables out to hold the extra stuff that we're doing. There are piles of boxes. There are boxes we've already forgotten what's in, but anyway, so all that is background when I was trying to think, okay, let's do live second Saturday tomorrow at 9 a.m. What are we going to show? So Kirsten did just finish this quilt, the top, and I just thought it was pretty amazing what the border did. Were you surprised? I loved it. I had the picture. We'd taken a picture of it without the border.
Right.
And I had that, and I think that's what I used in the newsletter.
Uh-huh.
And I really liked it that way. But then that night, she popped up a picture where she'd stuck this border on.
Yep. And everything. This was in my stash. This was an in from something else. Everything here was a leftover parts. There's even, I think, 4 different whites in this background.
Yeah.
Because it was all parts and pieces.
Sitting close to it, now that she said that, I can see the difference. But that's something we want to point out that that actually adds quite a bit of charm to a quilt when you have different things happening on it. And I always point out that when you're looking at a quilt in a museum, especially if it's vintage, it is done definitely with different fabrics that are designed, or that in the design they read the same, but they aren't necessarily the same fabric. So perfect to use up a bunch of your background fabrics. Gwen, do you want to join us? I'd like you to join us. Gwen's here too, since we don't have the room full the share. And so that made me think like a lot of Jerry Seinfeld gets played in my house. And so I was thinking about his latest, like, what is it, comedians riding around in cars drinking coffee. So
Yeah. I've seen one. Yeah,
it's pretty funny. But so I thought, like, let's just be quilters sitting around drinking whatever. So Gwen doesn't do coffee.
I guess maybe not whatever.
Yeah, it's like your morning drink. So
anyway, not 5 o'clock.
No, not cocktail time. We know that. So anyway, back to the scrap things. Like, so then we've been making a lot of masks. We've been making the. Can you grab one of the shaped ones? Like,
sure.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been making the pleated ones that are done out of rectangles. This is one that is done. It's shaped. It actually looks like the little bikini top that we made in the 70s. I made dozens of these things. I was like known for
child size.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, actually, it was my size back in the 70s. But anyway, so but this produces a couple of scraps out of it, and I saved them all for Kirsten, and then I didn't get them to her. She's done, so they would have been perfect for the doors and the roof. So anyway, I have a bunch of scraps. We have scraps we've been creating here at the store, and I think I have enough at least to do, I have at least 3 pounds. So I was thinking about doing 1 pound scrap bags. If you're interested, just put it in the comments, and I'll do those for $12 for the pound. And that's just about $4 a yard, but there'll be quite a bit of variety in it. So if you're interested in that, just say in the comments and we'll figure it out. So anyway, so I have a bunch of scraps left over because we've been doing a lot of masks and other things. So hey, there's Mary. Mary, you could come pull up a chair. We're doing second Saturday. We're doing share.
Yeah.
Do you have a chair?
You can use a
grab
rolling
the
chair.
That's all right. I'll stand.
Mary's gonna stand. Okay, she's gonna be our audience. So, anyway, we have been doing scraps. What else have we been doing? Mary made this. You just came just in the nick of time. Mary made this. This is Darling. This is a new by Annie. It's called Handle It, and it's a doorknob organizer. And this pattern is $9.95, and it is a good way to feature a fun little fabric. It hangs on the doorknob. It has used a little piece of fold-over elastic, which is something that's designed to fold over and finish like a fleece or a sport outfit. It's stretchy, but this is a colorful addition, and that helps hold it onto the doorknob. Maybe you have one of those straight handicap accessible doors or something. Anyway, so that's cute. It's got little pockets here. If you wanted to stick something across the back, like let's say you wanted a legal size envelope or something you wanted that accommodates that. And I think the pattern comes with, no it doesn't. We sell by the yard actually chalkboard fabric. It's a vinyl. It's designed to accommodate that. And there is actually such a thing as a chalkboard pen that you can use on that, so if you want some fine messages or notes or whatever. Anyway, so that's a really fun little item. I'm going to talk some today about the scissors that we had for doing the collages. This is Karen K. Buckley's very fine, sharp scissors, and these are great. I know we talked about them when we were doing the collages for the schoolhouse that didn't happen, sort of. And anyway, so these are just a wonderful pair of scissors, and Sylvia has been working with us the last few days, and she mentioned again, she said, wow, she says, those scissors are so great, everybody should have those scissors. So I'm going to show you those again. They have a micro serrated edge, which allows for the fabric is kind of held, like when you're cutting it, it holds.
It grabs it.
It grabs it. Thank you, Gwen. That's what I was trying to say. So it grabs it. So it is, they are regularly $27.50. This is going to be our special today, 25% off. So if you would like these, again, you have to say in the comments that you would like the special scissors. And they have a comfort soft handle. They are just really quite an awesome scissors. So that's our special for the day. I wanted to cover that before I forgot.
We have a question.
Okay, what's
They want to talk about the quilts behind you.
Oh, which one?
So that one, the kit is right beside Gwen. Nope, it's the bottom one there.
This one. Well, just a minute.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
It's $68.95 for waiter. There's a fly. That's the pattern.
It includes
Okay.
the pattern.
The pattern's on the back there. It's a mustard seed.
It's coming apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
We picked it up and it, we undid it by accident.
Okay, and are there many of these left, Kristen?
That is it. That's the last one.
Oh.
That's the last kit for that one.
Oh, maybe that should be on special.
And that is I think that fabric's called Cherry Mint.
Cherry mint. It finishes 60 inches by 75 inches, and since there's just one, we're going to do that 25% off.
Ooh, bonus.
Nice.
This is the quilt we're talking about here. And it's going to get lost behind the wall.
Okay.
And then, Alma, please check the volume on your Facebook as well as the volume on your device you're using, because that's probably the problem.
This one is in this book, which
It's called Superstar, the one right behind Charlotte. The kit includes the fabric and the pattern book.
and it comes small and then large, right? Gwen did this one behind me, and it is also the
Oh, how
book
cute is that?
includes the large one, which is the same design. Obviously, it's cut larger pieces.
And this book has a lot of fantastic patterns.
A lot of fantastic patterns.
They're great.
So this one, I think we have a couple of these.
Yep.
Two?
3.
We have room. 3. Okay. 3. $57.99 includes
The pattern book.
the pattern book. Superstar 2, $57.99. Today I'll make those on special also. 25% off, and then Gwen could take her quilt home.
Yes,
You like that?
I like that.
All right.
I need 3 people.
Yeah, 3. Mike's not asking too much.
You guys can, if you want one of these, you can place an order in the comments and we'll give you a call when we close our live feed. And there's one more.
There's one more. Behind and
Two.
more.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
And that's a one for. Yeah, we have we have one more after this, I guess, don't we?
Do we?
Yep.
Okay. Do we have 2 of these?
No. This is the last.
I'm surprised this is gone.
Another quilt.
Okay, I'm surprised this is still here. That's why I'm surprised.
I
Okay,
think
this
it got
is-
lost. We kind of find the kid under a pile.
$28.49, and this is featuring Chroma Basics. And we put this cute little print in there for the binding. It's what I used on the back. I don't know if that fabric's still around. So the quilt pattern is included.
Uh-huh.
It's not a pattern you can buy. It's a pattern that I have permission just to include in kits. And it includes the binding and all the fabric for the top. And it is $28.49, and what the heck? That's 25% off too.
Please tell. Sue, I see you want something, but I don't know what it is unless you tell us. So if you can color specify, that's awesome. I can probably figure that out. We have one more, so I'm going to make sure. Let's scooch over here to,
This one?
uh-huh.
I saw those. I was surprised to see this was here too.
Yeah, those are only 2 left. Mm-hmm.
Well, this one uses this darling baby goat fabric.
I'm going to have to get in close to see
Robin
this.
made this. This is so cute. This is a great baby quilt.
Okay.
Stepping stone, this fabric, 1 yard of this fabric, and 1 yard of the orange fabric. And that does even the border. And I think we've included a little bit more for the binding.
Mm-hmm.
So that kit makes this top and the binding and has the pattern for $58.95. Okay, I'm on a roll. 25% off. See, we're just going. We didn't plan any of this. This is just, we're going.
We pulled these off the wall because all these new models we're making, we need the wall space. So if there wasn't many left.
Fabric to feature like baby goats. Like, so what happens is people see that
Yeah.
fabric when you come back in the store, people will see that fabric in the quilt, and they go, "Where's that cute baby goat?" We're going, "It's in the kits," and then they frown at you. Well,
That there isn't any left. It's only left in the kits.
okay. Well, very good. Okay, thanks for asking that question. Anything else?
Not so far.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, maybe I should move on a little bit to what I spent. I'm going to set my coffee cup over here. Oh, my coffee cup, that we sell these.
Yep.
$12.99. Okay, don't spill. It's, we've got, that's so weird.
It's not on there?
No, I don't know what is on here. I was going to say.
Polyester cat milk.
I know, that's what I
Whoa.
was. And then this side says possum.
Oh.
Alpaca, lurex, possum.
Maybe that's how they get the stuff.
Ramie, viscose, cotton, silk, linen, acetate, acrylic. So again, raffia, angora, hemp.
Yeah, this is weird.
Quiviut. I don't know what that is. Quivit? Dog.
Well, there's cat, so
yeah,
you know.
I know. So, okay, we'll just set that over there. I might do a little research. Anyway, fun little mug. We sell those, $12.95. Okay, so I was getting ready to do this block, and this is month 5, Peter. Can you see that, Kristen?
Yeah.
Should I hold this up?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're doing, Peter. This is the one that is the vintage. It is, I don't know, can you see it? If you tilt the camera just a little bit, there's one up there.
I'm gonna walk over here because why not?
You can.
This one right here is what we're looking at. Do we know where it is in the other quilts? Oh, no.
Yeah, in this one, it's right in the
Oh.
center. It's the black one.
Right.
And then the on point one is always a little bit harder to find. Might be behind.
It might be behind
material.
because I don't. Nope, that's the border.
Anyway,
It's
there
there.
somewhere. Anyway, so you got the gist. So this one comes with instructions to cut squares. And, let me back up. I'm going to pause right there. So last week, I made the off the cuff comment that if you didn't want to make the one we were making, which was Greg, to just do Marcia. And thank you, I think it was Cheryl who first alerted to me, you know what, Charlotte, there really is, you're missing like half an inch of fabric to be able to cut that instruction, and that's the seam allowance, so we couldn't do without that. And so really the instruction, if you haven't tried to do your non-wonky block for last month, you can just do Greg exactly like the pattern says, only instead of cutting them wonky, just cut them straight. And so you would just have a straight 4-patch here. You would have a half square triangle that goes diagonal, not quite into the corners. So instead of it being wonky, it would be an even line. So you would have this little missing, it's about a half an inch there, and you would have the same thing here. So just cut that. I did shoot a video to correct that. So if you caught that, good. If not, I'm just alerting to that news. So anyway, so hopefully I could make the same mistake because, as you can see, I haven't made the block again because I already made 3. I started cutting them, and I thought, I'm going to show you some tips for cutting, and maybe just remind you of some products that are out there. And again, some of you are beginners, and some of you are very experienced piecers, and some of the very experienced piecers have taken on the challenge of helping new quilters, and since we learned to quilt or started quilting, there are new products, and so sometimes even the experienced people aren't up on all the latest gadgets and trinkets. So this is a neat tool. This is a repositionable vinyl ruler stop, and it comes as a piece, and you just pull them apart. And I'm using my handy dandy 8.5-inch ruler today. This has the 1/4 inch non-slip grip on the one side. It's the 1/4 inch seam allowance. On the other two sides, it has the 1/2 inch grip extending. So you sometimes have to pay attention so that these two edges are marked in 1 inches increments, and this is marked 1.5 and then another inch, so 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. So sometimes it can get a little bit confusing when you're just doing this and trying to watch television or something while you're doing it, or trying to carry on a phone conversation. So sometimes, even for us experienced ones, having this handy-dandy marking is good. So the instructions on the pattern are to cut 2 6-inch squares, and I'm back on Jan. I'm on month 6. I was gonna say I'm not cutting 6-inch squares.
I'm going to cut in real quick. Pam, please check the volume on your Facebook video and then check the volume on your device.
So I just shuffled my papers around. There's Greg.
Is it underneath the...
There's. See, I do this even when you guys aren't in the room to distract me. I lose my papers. How about there? Okay, thank you. Put those on the floor. Okay, I got 2 papers. I got Peter. And I have my notes. Okay, so we are going to cut 7 3/4 inch squares. Now, the thing about 7 3/4, anytime you see 3/4 in a cutting instruction, your antenna should go up, because we have a couple of math rules in quilting, and one of them we call the 7/8 inch rule. And that is, anytime you're taking a square and you're cutting it in half on the diagonal to make a half square triangle, so you're going to cut 2 of these together, sew 2 of these together. There's a rule for cutting these, and the rule is you have the finished size and you add 7/8 of an inch. So it's called the 7/8 inch rule. So if I wanted a finished size 2, you would cut a square, you would cut 2.5 inches. That would have the 1/4 inch seam allowances. But to cut a half square triangle, you would cut it 2 7/8. And then when you cut it in half and sew it all together, it finishes 2. So that's the 7/8 inch rule. So the 1 1/4 inches is what you do when you want to cut. So there's your half square triangle, here's your square, here's your half square triangle, and now here is your 1/4 square triangle. So when you want to cut a 1/4 square triangle, which is what we need in this block, here's the white 1/4 inch triangle up here. Here it's illustrated, it's one of the, I just have my block turned around, so there's the 1/4 inch quarter triangle, and there's the other 1/4 triangles. The 2 1/4 triangles sewn together with a half square triangle make a square. Okay, so we're making a 12-inch square, so that unit has to finish 6. So this is a 1/4 square of a 6-inch finished, and you add 1 3/4 to it, and you have the square you are supposed to cut being 7 3/4. Did I say that right?
I think so.
So then, you know what? I think that's wrong.
Don't you want the 7/8?
The rule is 1 1/4, and they've just cutting it oversized. They're cutting it oversized. They screwed up the rule. So, I'm going to use my markers, because I just went through all that. I'm going, oh, Charlotte, just follow the darn pattern. Okay. So, I'm going to cut 7 3/4. This ruler is 8.5, but it's got funny markings on it. So I'm going to go 7.5. I'm going to go over 1/4, and I'm going to put my cutting edge on there. Then, oops, same thing here. 7.5, add 1/4. Hey Lois, did you pipe up? Did I have that rule wrong? Lois knows. Lois knows everything.
I'll let you know.
Okay, so this is now marked so that I can cut my perfect 7 3/4. I need to cut 7 3/4 inch square from the background fabric and from the small triangles. So these are the small, whatever piece you want in there on the outside, you're gonna select your fabric for that. So I'm gonna do my background fabric. So Kirsten, you might wanna stand up and take a look at this. So the first thing I'm gonna do is cut, and stand up, because you should really not try to cut when you're sitting down. So there is my first clean cut. Turn that around. Now I've marked my ruler with the 7 3/4, and that's just going to bump right up there. You can see as I push that, it's actually pushing the fabric along the table. That's what a nice edge it creates. So now I know I have 7 3/4, even though I have my cat running around, I have the phone ringing, I've got Jerry Seinfeld playing in the background. So there's my 7 3/4. When I want to cut my 7-inch squares, these are repositionable, so I can just pull this off and reposition this. So I can cut my 7, mark my 7. Lois probably had an interruption. Okay, so there's the 7. The 7-inch is the large triangle that I want to have on the outside. So I think it's going to be this one. And I'm going to play with it. I'm actually going to put in some aqua, so I want a little bit of extra aqua. So I'm going to position this as close to that edge as I can, so that I have a little bit of aqua there. And I'm going to clean cut that edge. Move that around. And again, this is an 8.5-inch ruler that I have marked the 7-inch line with my cutting edge. I'm just going to bump that. The cutting edge is applied to the wrong side of the ruler. Going to bump that up against those edges. You can see it there and there. And now I was trying to pay attention. I wanted as much of this aqua in here as I could get. So there's my 7-inch square. So now I'm going to cut that in half once on the diagonal. And I can do this, if I want to, by using this edge. There I have my,
Voila.
so those are going to be the outside, outside corners of my block. So it'll be kind of interesting. Then the inside is going to be this gray. So I will also cut that 7-inch. And so now this, when I lay this on here, this has an element in the fabric that I think would be kind of neat if I have that running right along the diagonal. So that means that I'm not on the straight grain of the fabric, but that's okay. It does mean that I have the units in the design on the straight of my design, and I kind of like that. So I'm going to cut that. Let's turn that around. point, I'm going, okay, I've been talking and stuff. Was this supposed to be the 7 or was this supposed to be the 7 3/4? Nope, it's a big one. It's a large triangle. So I'm going to cut it 7. Okay. Check twice, cut once. And now, I could just grab, that'd be easier, just grab another ruler. I got 'em. This does have a 45-degree line, so I can double check. Hopefully I can just go corner to corner, but sure enough, my 45-degree line lines up on that. Okay. So these two are going to be, I always call these kissing. They're bow ties. Those are kissing. These are going to be on the outside. So now I just have to create the units that go here. The other thing I wanted to point out, and Mary's going to cover this in depth. Mary's covering this more in depth this Thursday at her sewing club. And sewing club normally is a membership program, and it's $36 a year. And Mary makes that worth your while because she always brings treats. She cooks. She's a fabulous cook. And so anyway, but we're not able to do that now because we still haven't opened to customers. And I hear somebody's knocking on the back door right now, so I hope somebody hears that out there. But we are open. I think Robin is out there. So Mary's going to do club on video this coming Thursday at 10 a.m. So it will be available to you after if you can't make it to the 10 o'clock, but she's going to be talking about flying geese and many different varieties of flying geese. But I'm sure she'll touch on this because Mary loves Marty Michelle rulers and templates. And this is Marty Michelle's flying geese ruler. And she has just very recently come out with a small flying geese ruler. And this will work perfectly for what we are actually cutting today. And I just want you to see, it works also with the 7 3/4. Did I cut the 7 3/4? Somewhere I did. There's the 7 3/4. This actually is if you cut this on the diagonal, this is the triangle that we are aiming for. And again, this pattern is cut oversized. Everything is cut oversized. If you were cutting it just for making this finished 12-inch, this is the largest size of the ruler is the line that you would use to cut this. But we're going to cut these oversized. It's just going to give us a little bit of room to goof up. So this is the background fabric, and I'm now going to cut it twice on the diagonal. This was cut 7 3/4, and it's a 1 1/4 inch rule, and they have added a 1/2 inch to this for slop and chop. Slop and chop. Did I say that loud enough for you? Okay. So there are the 4 corners that we need. Those will be.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, we'll deal with that another day. But we'll scotch tape those back together for our demo purposes. There we go.
Now you're making me nervous. My quilt's right there.
Yeah. There's scotch tape. Anyway, so we are going to do that again. Not that part. We're going to move all that, and we're going to cut a 7 3/4 from this one. Throw that away. Okay.
The power of live video.
Yes. And the cool cucumber presenter. Oh, whatever. No, really, perfection is overrated. I will deal with that. I will deal with that. It will be fine. It's a scrappy quilt. We've created this scrappiness for you by putting kits together every month. By the way, did I say the kits are still free this month? you can come today at noon to 1, in the alley. Pick up your furry kit. You don't even have to show your block. So now still have this marked at the 7, and this one has to be a 7 3/4. Good catch, Charlotte. So 7 1/2, and add 1/4. 7 3/4. So this is repositionable vinyl. Makes it pretty slick. So we will be out in the parking lot, at the back door, in the alley, for you. If you have other orders that you have placed or are placing this morning, we will have those ready to run out to you as well. So just call and add something. If you...
Or for those who have ordered on here this morning or wanted to add something, we will give you a call before noon today so we can get that taken care of, paid for, and in the bag with your block for pickup to make it as smooth as possible.
Okay, so now we're cutting these into the 1/4 square triangles. So we're going to cut on the diagonal twice. Oops. Get everything out from under there. And then we are going to sew that together with that one. So we still have the straight grain of the fabric on the outside of this block. We're sewing these two together. This is where you should be gentle with your fabric because this is a bias edge. So you want to be careful and not tug at this at all. Just guide it through your sewing machine. I usually start, and I'll turn this for you, I turn this so that I am starting from the straight edge. So I will put my needle, my sewing machine needle down here, and I will sew down that direction. Just be very gentle, don't tug it. Same thing when you go to press it. When you go to press it, put the dark on top, open it up, and now you're going to gently with your iron, just gently press this so that you don't have any tucks or pleats in it, and then it won't be distorted. And we still have our straight grain on the outside. So when you sew that together with one of the triangles you haven't cut in half, when you have that all sewn together, it's going to be oversized. So what you need to do is using a square ruler, and if you bought the fussy cut ruler, the fussy cut ruler also works. I don't know if I have one.
No,
over
I
here.
think we sold that. I don't know if we have one sitting here.
Yeah, I think we did sell our model. So this is the 8.5-inch ruler. We're aiming for cutting, it's step number 4 on your pattern. Step number 4 on your pattern. Trim each unit to 6.5, centering the design. The design is this element right here, this. So this point, when it's all sewn together, you want that point to be the center of your 6.5. So 6.5 divided by 2 is 3 1/4. So you're going to follow along this line, this diagonal line, and there's 3, and then out here's 3 1/2. So you go back 1/4 inch and it's right there. So your 3 1/4 is that line right there. So you will center that on your design, and you're going to trim just like I did before. When you have that clean edge, you'll rotate this around, you'll line it up on the 6.5 inch and cut again. So that is how, whoops, it'll be up here though, because your 3 1/4 will be there. So you'll be cutting off this much. So this is how much extra they've allowed in these cutting instructions, which I call like slop and chop. So anyway, that is the block for this month. And You have any questions?
We'll kind of hang out here for a minute and see if anybody has anything they want to ask because, why not?
And again, that rule is 1 1/4. It's 7/8 inch for half square triangles, 1 1/4 for quarter square triangles. They have you cutting an additional 1 3/4, which is just allowing you extra. And the 7/8 inch, they've rounded that up to 1 inch, so you're cutting 7-inch squares instead of me for doing this cut. Where'd my pieces go? I'm gonna come back to that.
This
So
is a whoops.
this has to be. So what
I think
had I
they're on
done?
the floor.
I threw them on the floor.
This is one
Oh
of
yeah.
them.
Oh, here's some extra.
There you
Here's
go,
some
you
extra.
can make it bigger.
So my straight grain is where? There's my straight grain. And I need that. Boy, that was pretty darn close what I did. Pretty darn close.
There is a few specials today. Charlotte, do you want to say what the specials are again?
Yes, they are the perfect scissors from Karen K. Buckley, size medium. Again, they are an extra sharp, a very fine point, an excellent point, a very comfortable large handle. These are 25% off. They are normally $27.50, so that's a good deal. We have, do we still have quilt kits left?
The quilt behind you that one's gone.
Gone.
The one behind you still available. That one's still available. And that one over there with the orange is still available.
Okay.
Those are all how much off per
25%
kit?
off.
Yeah.
And so let's name them again. So this one is Stepping Stones with the baby goats.
Yes.
That's the key feature here.
If you say baby goats, we're gonna know.
Baby goats, Stepping Stones pattern, great pattern. This is got the weirdest name. Waiter, there's a fly in my soup. We don't know. This was Becky, who started, was the original owner of Cottonwood Quilts in Hutchinson. This is her pattern design. And this is cherry mint. I love this fabric. It's very soft and smooth. It's extra smooth fabric. Beautiful design. This one is the book. That's a fabulous book, still available.
It's called.
And that is Superstar.
Yeah.
Mini Superstar. It's Superstar, but this is the small one. There's a larger version. The quilt kit is for this size quilt and includes the top, the book, and the binding.
Okie dokie.
All right.
Without the quilt markets this year, what would you do? What do you predict for trends?
Solids.
Yeah.
Solids and basics. And the fabric companies were already introducing more basic lines that essentially read solid. They also have now started putting in some lines. The designers have favorites. So we've carried Kansas Troubles favorites for a long time. We've carried Bonnie and Camille favorites for a long time. Tula Pink has some basics that are coming out that we get the first shipment in June. It's all prints that will coordinate with Tula Pink's previous
lines.
lines and lines going forward. Solids, they keep adding more colors to the solid lines, and we are seeing we're seeing that. And part of it is that the fabric companies need to be careful because they don't know either what exactly is going to happen, whether we will have a second wave of this pandemic before we have the sort of back to normal. So they're being careful with what they're producing. I had ordered, some of you watched that line where I went through I think it was earlier this week, and I had color cards because the rep isn't traveling, so she had sent me her color cards, her fabric cards. I chose a couple of, I think there was one in there that I showed you, the one that had the small dots that ombre It was a Jane Sassaman group, and had some big florals. Remember, we walked around and we looked at another Jane Sassaman quilt that we had on display. Well, I ordered that line, and then I got notice yesterday that that line is not going to be printed.
Oh.
They hadn't. Yeah, I know. So they didn't have a response to it. So they're going to be more of that. So we have to, if we like something, we're going to have to speak up more. And so I think that'll mean that some Jane Sassaman fans will be going, oh, I should have spoken up before Scott made that decision. So same with you. You're going to have to make some maybe some quicker decisions, that we won't have fabrics, we won't have the design fabrics around quite as long. We'll have more basics around it. It is a good thing. That's a very good thing. And so the designs will get a little bit more interesting. We'll like our scraps a little bit better. Anyway, we'll evolve. It'll be good. But so that's the trend I see. It's not expensive. Like a couple of years ago, we saw a lot more metallics, a lot more pearlized finishes. I think we won't see as much of that add on to, there's going to be less bling, I would say.
So the Superstar kit is $57.99 before the 25% off. Debbie says thank you for that information. We do have the Tulip Pink line she was talking about is called True Colors.
True Colors.
So that one will be, when we got the entire line, like 46 different bolts.
Because we like them.
Because we do.
They're bright, cheerful colors, so I think we'll see more cheerful stuff going on for a while. The other thing is black and white. We're seeing more black and whites, and then Tula came right out on that trend. You might have seen she introduced her line, again, because we don't have Quilt Market. Some of the designers will be introducing their lines, the work they've been doing. Lines can take almost a year to develop and get to the point where they can show them. So she showed a black and white line. It's really quite interesting and small. So there's 13 pieces in it, so that will be coming in October. We already ordered that too. So.
Okay, I think that's all we have. So you can continue to make comments on here, and we will see them this morning. I'm going to keep an eye on this. I see there's a few orders on here. So I'll keep an eye on it through noon. That way we get your orders to you if you're coming through the drive.
This is the cute little handle it. I'll go back to what I did in the beginning. So
did we order pre-cut bundles of True Color? We didn't, did we?
Well, we're gonna have the whole line. So
Yeah, I don't think we did because we ordered the whole line. So you're welcome to get what you need, Vicki. We know how much you love this stuff.
Just out of curiosity, which size pre-cut? We always debate that.
Are you more of a fat quarters? Do you want the 10-inch squares, the jelly rolls?
1/2-inch strips, the 5-inch squares, 10-inch squares.
Right. So jumping over real quick, the baby goat is $58.95 before the 25% off.
So if it was $60, it would be $15 off. So it's about $13 off. So it would be about
$45.
$35, right?
45. It's 58.
58 minus 13.
45.
48, 45. Kirsten's faster at this.
For today. Fat quarters. That's what I thought Vicki would say. Fat quarter bundles. Yeah. We cut those. So, I know you might be trying to make it easier on us, Vicki, but we always do what you need. Because we love you all. And I guess we'll go ahead and call it since it's been 50 minutes. That's a record.
Without an audience.
Yep. So if you want to go back and watch this, it will be available on Facebook once it resets. It takes a minute for it to reset itself from a live video to just a video. And then we're going to pop it over on YouTube later today. That way it can be seen at any time without having to go dig for it. So our YouTube channel is just Charlotte So Natural. Otherwise, thanks, guys.
Bye. See you in the backyard later today, noon.
Bye.